Hello, this is Brother Kevin, welcoming you to Reformation and Revival Now, a video ministry that deals with two major aspects. One is Reformation, which in my particular case is referring to roadblocks that actually counter revival or take away from revival. Revival for the church and, of course, harvest for the world. And when the church is fired up, she will usually participate in the harvest. I want to share a very special message today, what I would call a revival message. And I want everybody, if you've ever listened to me before, if you've ever listened to me preach before, even going back to my early transformation series, and when I got into the surrender versus pro-choice or free choice, those were very controversial sermons. This may be not so controversial, but still I believe it's absolutely vital. Maybe the most important message I've preached in a while. And the first thing I want to do is give you an introduction. It's going to take about four videos to get through them, maybe 5. And the introduction is this. Those of you who are from the 60s and 70s, remember the old Star Trek series with William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy and DeFrost Kelly, which 2 of those guys are gone now, but that's the old Star Trek series I remember. But I remember in that old series, they had this little area in space called the neutral zone. And in that space called the neutral zone, you could go in there and be safe from any enemies. In fact, it was kind of open. It was kind of interplanetary, I guess. You can go any place you wanted to go, as long as you didn't cross the neutral zone. But if you cross the neutral zone, you could cross it into a jurisdiction of an ally, or you could cross into a jurisdiction of an enemy. And if you cross into a jurisdiction of an enemy, you could be, shot at. They could declare war on you. And of course, if you went into a jurisdiction of say, of a colleague or say of an ally, they would welcome you and say, "Is there anything we can do for you?" Blah, 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 blah. What my intention is, as a preacher, and particularly in this series, it is my desire, it is my goal to eliminate the neutral zone. It is the neutral zone in our Christianity here in the States that is the biggest enemy for true revival. I repeat, it is the neutral zone in Christianity that is the greatest enemy of modern day revival here in the States. And I would like to say to those of you who have been listening to me for a while, please pray for me, even as I'm doing this series. Those of you who really care for Sultana and I, please pray, because this message is really that important. I want to destroy that neutral zone, because any place that we can go to where we're not really offensive, we're not really doing anything that makes anybody mad, we're not stirring any, it may be a comfortable place for you. It might be a place that you enjoy. But that place is designed to murder your faith. Remember the parable of the talents? The one guy buried the sand. The one guy had 5, one guy had 10, one guy had 5, and the guy only had 1. The guy that had 1 buried it in the sand and then gave it back to the Lord. Well, when he gave it back to the Lord rebuked him, took away the one that he had, and he said he went away with gnashing it with teeth. He was taking away what he had and punished for not using it. The neutral zone does that to you. It causes you to bury what God's given you while you just kind of coasting along. You're just coasting along. Everything is going good. I'm going to church. I'm doing a pretty good job. And I'm telling you right now, you got to beware of the neutral zone. This introductory lesson here is just to prepare your heart. I'm going to have a word of prayer before I leave the introduction, because I want you to be open to what the Lord is showing me and what I believe He's showing many of you. I want you to get your heart open. I want you to allow yourself to be pliable to the Lord. And just because I'm not a trained speaker, and just because I don't have much education, doesn't mean that God can't use this unpolished speaker or unpolished, uneducated person to speak a word into your life. In fact, God likes to use things that are not really all that awesome. He likes to use small things to confound big things. He likes to use things that are not smart to confound the wise things or the smart things. So the Lord likes to use people like me. It's not because I have talent, because I don't. It's maybe because I don't have talent. It's maybe because I don't have education, but He can speak a word to me to give to you, and I hope that you would really sincerely hear what I have to say for the next 4 videos, because I believe it's vital. I believe it'll change everything in your life. It's changed everything in my life today as He gave it to me over a period of about 12 hours. I received pieces of it. Most of it, as so many times, comes out of my prayer life. Anyway, we're going to be teaching on getting out of that neutral zone, looking at 3 things. And a lot of those things I've talked about in the past, but I'm going to tie them together. 1 is faith. 2 is fiction. 3 is forgiveness. Now, when we talk about faith, we talk about that which we please the Lord. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. For he that cometh to God must first believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him. And we talk about fiction. When you hear the word fiction, you think about stories that may be based on true events, but they're just not true. Or just outright fairy tales of something that you know is not true. Maybe a novel of some sort. It's based on type of things that can happen, but it's not a true story. It's like a fantasy. Well, sometimes we allow our Christianity to be a fantasy and not reality. And the third area, and the most critical area, is forgiveness. This area of forgiveness is probably responsible for a lot of revival movements by itself. And I really can't wait till we get to that particular part of this teaching. So anyway, I want you to prepare your hearts to get ready to receive what the Lord wants you to receive. We're going to start off with faith. And please give a listen, because I'm going to give everything that the Lord has given me to share with you. And I ask that you would receive it in the intention which it's given. All right, God bless you. This is a short introduction. I'll be back in the next video. Bye-bye now.